Welcome back, guys. So today let's talk about another blaxploitation film called Foxy Brown, again starring Pam Grier, and it's the second Pam Grier exploitation film I've seen, or blaxploitation. And I was excited to see this one because again, Amazon Prime. I always keep saying how great Amazon Prime is. It really has a great selection of exploitation films, whether it's horror, whether it's blaxploitation, and I really am excited to watch more. I really love seeing that giant catalog. Like they've got an incredible catalog worth of things that I'll never finish completely, but there's so many movies that I want to see on there. And Foxy Brown is the next Pam Grier movie after Coffee. And Coffee I really dug the hell out of. I thought that it was really fun. It was my first time watching a blaxploitation movie really, so I felt like that was a good one to start on. But Foxy Brown is again the second one to it. It is not a sequel, but it is the second movie that Pam Grier does afterwards. And this one is interesting because the plot of it is that Foxy Brown, this character who is out for revenge after her boyfriend gets shot by drug syndicates, and it's very similar to Coffee in a lot of ways. And it's again directed by Jack Hill, who directed Coffee, and it's another revenge story involving drugs that the same titular character has to stand up against and take in names. And it also has Sid Haig as well. It's got a lot of things that were in Coffee. Like I like that they kept they kept a lot of the stuff added into it from the last movie, even though it's not a sequel. But it was originally going to be a sequel to Coffee. And that's why it feels so similar. Like watching both of these movies, they're very similar to each other. The directing looks very similar. Again, Jack Hill directed both of them, so they look very similar. And honestly, if you just change the name, this could be Coffee. Like you didn't. I feel like they didn't really have to make it a different character. Like you could literally make this the exact same character and with like a rewrite, like a couple sentences worth, and just change the name, and then it's Coffee again, which I thought would have been fine too. Even though I do enjoy this one, it would have been cool if it was just a sequel to Coffee because it feels so similar to it. It's a little frustrating. It's like it's so very close. And again, I like the story is very similar to Coffee, where it's again titular character going up against drug syndicates after a loved one is shot, or is injured. So I like that. I like that they do the same drug message as well, like anti-drug. And it's interesting in this one because Foxy Brown goes up against the drug syndicates, but this time they're white drug syndicates, which in Coffee they were all black drug lords. And I think that it's cool that both of these movies have a distinction with that because you don't have to be a certain color to be a bad guy. And I like that they have the white people as bad guys in this one as well because you got to give each other turns. You can't just have one color be the bad guy. So I really like that. I thought that was fun. And I like the villains too. The villains are despicable in this. They're really entertaining. Like the last movie. They both have really entertaining villains as well. And I like that they didn't stereotype because it's not like, oh, the black villains are the villains in all of them. No, there's white villains as well. They don't just stereotype one, and I like that. And I just thought that worked. And I also like the opening too. The opening credits I thought were really fun. And I again haven't seen a lot of these movies yet, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of them that have this psychedelic 60s, late 70s or early 70s kind of disco looking intros, and this one has a good intro. I really like the music to this. The music again is great as well. It's not the same music, but it's still catchy and fun, and the intro I thought was really fun, and it makes me feel like I was watching a James Bond movie because James Bond did a lot of this stuff as well. But again, I'm really not very into all these movies yet, into blaxploitation, so I have not seen that many. So right now it's cool to see for the first time all these kind of things, but as I watch more and more, I feel like I'm gonna become more desensitized to it, to like all the stuff that they have in each movie. But as right now, I really do like what I've seen so far. And I think the action is memorable, I think, as well. I liked how there was another cat fight that was hilarious with these girls, but this time they're throwing tables at each other and they're really taking names. They're really kicking each other's asses. And I thought the action was good. I thought the action was fun. Again, Pam Grier is great. It's funny to see her in every scene almost. She literally changes outfits almost every scene, and it's pretty insane how many outfits she wears. I think that that's just funny on its own right as well, just to have different outfits like every scene. It reminded me of something out of, like, I know this is not the same movie, but Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, where Padme wears a different outfit every single scene. It's kind of like you're making each scene memorable with just what the character is wearing, so they stick out more in the scene, and I think that that is really cool. And I think that the movie, I enjoyed this one, but I didn't enjoy it as much as Coffee. I think that Coffee is a really great, like, was really great, and I really, really enjoyed it. And this one I thought was good, and I did like it. I thought that it was solid. I thought that it had, like I said, a lot of good things. The action, Pam Grier is awesome. I think the acting's still good. I think it's still a fun time, but it felt like a sequel, even though it's, again, technically not a sequel. But I thought that it felt more like a sequel than it should. And I kind of wanted it to be a sequel, but it just it feels like a sequel because it's directed by the same guy. It's got Pam Grier in it as basically the same character. It's got her fighting against drug syndicates like the last movie, with Sid Haig as well, with the same kind of action, with the same kind of story. So it feels like a sequel, but even though it's technically not, but it's still a solid enough movie that I did enjoy it, but I didn't love it as much as Coffee. Like, it's still a good one. And like I said, a lot of the things are really good in it, but it didn't feel the same for me. But I still think it's really solid and really enjoyable. So that is my review on Foxy Brown. Tell me down below if you guys have seen Foxy Brown, and thank you guys for watching.